Hold on, I'm sorry. I was muted. I was talking to myself. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. How is everybody doing with Spring Forward? I know that all of us are dying with this hour, but we are here. You are listening to Author Talk with me, Amy Valerie Russell, and Dina's on with us today, you guys. So it's going to be just a fun catch-up conversation today. So, guys, let's talk about the weekend. Holy hell, was my weekend busy. I can't tell you about some of the stuff that I did this weekend, but I can tell you that also Women in Publishing, their summit kicked off this weekend. And so I was a part of that yesterday. I will be talking on that right after today. So I was gearing up and preparing for all of that. My sister came and visited me on Friday, and so they're currently here hanging out with the girls. My mother and my other sister stopped by yesterday on their way, on Saturday, on their way to Shreveport, Louisiana to see my granny.
Sounds poor Josh.
So they just left yesterday. Josh is in hog heaven. I don't know what you're talking about. And my kids are on spring break, so we all know that I'm just going to be doing good to keep my sanity. So I'll probably be more jolly next week. But on top of that, I have become a Sour Patch addict. Okay. I have 3 bags of the huge Sour Patch, those big 1-pound bags. That's currently what I am just binging on. And my sister had me watch Queen Charlotte. We binged that whole season yesterday because I'm not Bridgerton and all that is just not my vibe. So she said I had to watch it. So I did watch that yesterday. And I'm trying to survive the rain that has just randomly hit and it being cold outside for this Texan girl. So what all did you guys do this weekend? How was your weekend? How is everyone surviving the spring forward? Because it's terrible to me. So who wants to dive in? Russell, you unmuted.
Okay. Well, I will go then. See, the spring forward or fall back, that doesn't affect old men like me because we're like awake already. So I don't miss any sleep. I get 8 hours of sleep because I go to bed so early. So it's no big deal for me. So I have no affection on that. The worst thing that has happened to me is Rita is gone into heat, so I have to manage that, and it's completely disrupted my lifestyle because I can't take her to doggy daycare. I can't do any of that, uh, and it's messed up my lifestyle.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Problems.
It could be
Yeah,
more.
very personal. Very personal.
It could be worse though. It could be a cat, because they just sit there and yowl the whole time. So at least it's not that.
Yeah.
It's an improvement. It's an improvement. But Valerie, what did you do?
What did I do? Let's see. I was working a whole lot last week, so I was very excited that I got invited to brunch on Saturday and then a dinner last night. So I think that was like the perfect way to like ease into spring break. But brunch on a Saturday, I was like, wow, I haven't done this in a really, really long time. Having just relaxing, doing nothing. It's kind of bizarre. It's kind of bizarre to do that. And then we went and hung out with the baby for a while. So that was really good vibes all around. And then yesterday, just what also we've been preparing for is I think I told you I'm in charge of the St. Joseph altar next week.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. So I'm a little like just brain dead over that, just trying to get everything ready. But so then we went to a really nice dinner and at Brennan's because they're 59 years old. Brennan's here in Houston. They're like an institution.
Oh yeah,
So
they rock. They have one of the best bars in town too, and it's
yes,
got
it's a
a.
beautiful new bar. I don't know if you've been to the new bar in the back where they redid
I have
everything.
been.
It's beautiful. So we had, just a really nice dinner. And of course we had to get bananas Foster with the fire and have some old fashions. And how can you go wrong with that? So it was a nice way to start a weekend. Just chill.
Well, I passed by Brennan's this weekend, but I didn't go in. Um, Let's see what I do. Oh, well, Friday.
You know what? This is really funny. The
You
way,
made arrangements to get your new computer. That's what you
That's true.
did.
She did.
That's
yeah,
the
but
big
you know,
thing.
here's some good news though. The waiter goes, "You have to come back tomorrow." They have like I want to say it's like 25 cent or something crazy. It was like 25 cent martinis today. He goes, "Come back
Oh
tomorrow."
my
We're like,
God.
"What?"
That's
I
today.
was like, "Nothing." That's a huh?
I know where I'm going. I know where I'm
Yeah,
going,
yeah. I think
right?
he said it. I don't know if it was
Dina,
just at lunch or
would you please Uber? Please Uber. Don't
Well, yeah, I
drive.
have to.
If you're gonna have 25-cent martinis, Uber.
Well, she'll have to
Because,
Uber.
I do love me a martini. I do love me a
And I do
martini.
believe in
so.
Ubers.
yes, yes. But I think he might have said there was a limit on that, and I was like, "But," he goes, you can take a whole bunch of friends and go, "I'll pay for everyone's drink." So
Nice.
And seem like a
yeah.
big spender.
Anyway, it's
Well,
a great place.
well, normally I work a split shift because of my back, right? So like I'll work 4 hours, and then I take a 4-hour break and I eat dinner, and then when that's digested, then I get back to work. And I cut it off about midnight. Well, Friday I ended up working until 5 a.m. Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
Terrible.
So I didn't work any after that this weekend, except for putting up my curtains and stuff like that. But then new computer today. I tell you what, I'm just so excited. I can't hardly wait. That's why I'm awake this early.
Yes.
It's why Dina's on,
So-
because she's so excited about it.
Yes. Hey, that's something to be excited about.
It's true.
I need
Man.
to.
Well,
Go ahead.
AI takes up so much of my RAM now. On my Adobe. So I'm just like, it just knocks everything off. If I don't,
Okay.
if I'm not getting it, so I'm getting a new one. Okay,
I need to thank our viewers. We're top 10% on some podcast channels, top 1% on Good Pods, on independent author interviews, and we very much thank our listeners. We've been on the air for 10 years, not on podcasts, but our YouTube interviews. And once we got on our podcast channel, I could never find us because there's like 1,000 interview channels. And then Amy did some magic, and even this boomer can find us. Amy, where can they find us?
Well, Dina's the one that rebranded us with the
Well,
colors.
thank you, Dina.
Yeah,
You're
Dina's
the
the one that
genius.
did
Thank
it.
you.
So, but you guys, listen, my go-to places for podcasts is Amazon or Spotify, but I am really big in watching this. So if you want to go and check us out, just type in Author Talk, look for the Crimson, Red, and Gold on any channel that you can search and look for a podcast. You will find us. If you want to watch us, you can go over to our YouTube channel, any of our social media accounts, our Facebook group, anything like that. I tend to not have a poker face, but I can control it comes out of my mouth. But generally, I talk a lot with my hands. Me and Valerie are pretty animated. So if you want to come on over and have a laugh with or at us, which we generally are laughing at the same time, you can come and join us over on those channels. But yeah, I mean, 10 years is crazy. What a crazy, crazy time. So with that being said, I know springtime is like conference and event time for writers, right? It is literally like when you spring forward, you're literally sprinting forward in the writing community in terms of events and everything that's going on. I feel like spring is just I don't know. It's just like the high point, I guess, for writers in terms of like selling books and marketing books and doing all of those things. It's the busy season. So, Valerie, what events have you heard about? What events are you going to? I know a bunch of conferences that are happening, like the Book Fest Spring 2026 is happening at the end of this month or next weekend. It's happening. Women in Publishing Summit is happening currently. And then you're going to have the Writers Guilds, all of those events are going to start kicking off. School, like colleges, will start bringing writers in and having their own writing conferences. Those are starting up soon too. So it is a busy season. But I dub you my events person for authors in Houston because you are always going to new and different ones. So which ones have you heard about, or which ones have you currently lined up?
Well, I do have one lined up in April. It's with Copperfield Books, and I was gonna look up the proper name for it, but I think it's an author fair. It's 2 days in April, and I want to say it's the weekend after Easter or so. So because we're just now finessing all the ins and outs of getting your author. That's a good thing to do. When you do join things like this, it's always good to have like your background, what your pitch is going to be, a synopsis of your books, maybe have an updated headshot or some kind of good shot that you want to propose to put out there, because they're going to put it on all their marketing material and you want to look, your best. And then maybe, or maybe you holding your books. But that's the one I have lined up for April so far. And I've been researching someone's in the end of March, but May, it kind of slows down a little bit. And then the summer really slows down. But like you were saying, this is the time you reach out to schools, you start planning other events. And it's actually not too early to start planning for fall, because a lot of these places, if they're super, super popular, they will fill up very fast. And if, especially even in holidays, even though it's March, they've already set dates for everything in fall for things you want to be part of. So that's a great time to do research and also contact these people if that's something you want to do, because like I said, these calendars fill up if it's a popular event, and there's a lot of author events also in the fall. So it's good to know.
Yeah, and Comic-Cons generally too are starting to start in March and kind of go through September. So fantasy authors, that's where you should be. But you guys, I have a random question, and I don't get to answer it because I'm not a writer. But I have a random question for you guys, and I am curious to know what you would pick. So have you guys seen the like limited edition books that have like the spray painted edges with designs, or they're blinged and they have foil and all that? If you could pick one of your books and it would be a limited edition book similar to that, what would it be? How would you do it? Russell?
Okay, I want to hear Dina answer this first, because she has this book that you're pushing her to publish, and I think you eventually will be able to. So, what is she going to do on that book? Is my question.
Okay, Dina, if you could have a limited edition book of your secret book, what would it be? What color would it be on the side? What design would you put? Would you have foil on it? Would you have bling on it? What would it be?
I would totally have foil on the title, the type treatment on the front. I would have the painted edges. And you and I saw the one that has, you open it up and it's got black light images on the pages. I would totally do that. I know what image I would use for my page background across everything. I think it would look so cool with, a whip or a ball gag or something like that. So
what is this picture that you would use for your page background? And what is a page background? I don't know what that is.
So I had sent Dina, I don't know if we can describe this scene. It's probably inappropriate. But I had sent Dina this Kickstarter that's going on. So you guys remember we had talked about Kickstarters, and it seemed to kind of die down for a little bit, but they are back full force. Okay, they're funding a lot of these limited edition books. And I sent her one that is blacklight. It's a blacklight image. You get the blacklight and everything, and they're hand-drawn images, right? And they're romance books. So obviously it's graphic images. But
and the ones in the one that Amy and I were looking at, they were like X-rated images.
Yeah. And so,
well, I mean, it wasn't like a close-up, but you could tell what was going on.
Dina makes it sound like I sent her porn. I didn't send her porn. I sent her a romance Kickstarter. Okay, that's what.
Hey, we're not judging. Okay, I'm just.
Hey, we're grown ups. We're grown ups here.
Anyways, I believe the person that's doing the Kickstarter is Willow Winters. She is a well-known indie romance author. She also, I believe, has a book box and collaborates with other authors to put it in there. But she's running a blacklight Kickstarter campaign. And I saw this Kickstarter, and you guys, I kid you not, it was fully funded in 5 minutes. It's raised over $300,000 for it. So I'm going to look online and see if I can find it really quick, and I'll share it so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think that that's like the future. So you guys know, I've always said romance authors are really what sets the trending tone for just authors in general. They're the ones that started the painted edges, the designed edges, the book series that the painted edges make the whole, like a whole image is all the books kind of together. So they've done a lot of like
if you
cool
look at the page,
things.
you not the spine view.
Yeah. So
If you look
that's
at the
why I
page, yeah.
asked you guys, like, if you could do that, what would it be? Because Kickstarter is just like the way that they're funding these things. But I mean, they're being funded incredibly quickly and insane because everyone wants something pretty on their bookshelf. Like mine would be blinged out and glitter galore and foil everywhere because that's the type of girly I am.
Well,
But, I mean,
and
still.
then it's another way you can sell books as limited editions or special editions, just like Taylor Swift. She takes her one album and releases it 5 times, like on pink vinyl and on purple vinyl. And so it's just another way that you can keep you can diversify your income stream. And it pays off if you have a rabid fan base.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it does. Okay, I think I found it.
And Russell, to answer your questions, you know how on your book I made that first page black? That's your page background. And I do some, like I did one that's got like on the blank page before a chapter starts is like roses as a watermark, and it bleeds over into the chapter start page.
Here, so I found it. So her campaign has ended because I was going to buy a book on her campaign, but I thought it ended on the 10th and it didn't. But I will show you some of these images that we're talking about for the Blacklight campaign. So if you guys want to see them, go over to our YouTube channel and stuff so you can see it. So this is there was different tiers in this Kickstarter, which I thought was just really cool. And there's 5 different authors and so different books and stuff that you can get. But these were like the Blacklight images. So you got the Blacklight and everything with it. And it was just like hidden images within there.
Okay,
But,
I have a question about that. I think that's very cool.
Right?
How do you do that?
Yeah, I
How
mean,
do you
would
do
use
that?
I mean, I feel like you would use a marker
You
that
can't just-
shows
You
up
would do
only
it
on
like a
Blacklight.
watermark, but it's all stuff that your printer has to be capable of doing it.
Yeah.
And like you got Friesens. I don't even know if Friesen's huge. I don't know if I would think they would be able to do it. I wouldn't think that Ingram would be able to do it. So
Yeah. No, I feel like okay, Dina got removed. I feel like it's one of those things where it is like you can do it in the printer, but I think what she was doing, because she only ran it for an X amount of time, is she was having the books printed, however many for each tier. And then I believe she had an artist that was going in with like a pin that only shows up on Black Art and was doing it because you're not getting these books until September or October, and her Kickstarter just ended. So my theory is that that's what she was doing, because I don't know any printer that can print an image that's just like a Blacklight safe image. I think they have to be hand drawn, which is why there were different tiers. But like I feel like this is the future of it, like limited edition and like those kinds of elements. I mean, even Target, I feel like Target is the only one I've seen them at. But that has like the spray painted edges and stuff, because now Amazon will like let you upload and they'll print them. But it's just, I don't know. I think it's like the way of books. It's what people are wanting. It's how people are selling physical copies of books. I'm not one to buy like a paperback book. It'd have to be, I need the FOMO. I need the FOMO of like, I'm going to miss out on this limited edition thing. Like even now I thought I had to the 10th and I'm kind of pissed that I missed it because I did want one of these books. And now I am kind of pissed that I missed it. And it's just like a FOMO thing. But like, if you guys could do it for your books, right? What would you do? How would that look in your mind? So Dina, you do the foil and the painted edges. What color would your painted edges be?
And man, I would totally do the Blacklight. And sorry about that. That was my son calling.
Oh.
So, and yeah, but nothing spectacular.
Oh, mine would be blinged out. Russell, what would you do for Maryland's?
Well, I haven't known about this long enough to create something.
Mhm.
I might perhaps, if an artist could make it look like the blood was dripping from one level to the next and splashing, it
Mhm.
might be something like that.
You
Yeah.
could totally do a blood drip on your edges.
Yeah,
I've
but
seen that done.
could you paint it? Uh, and I mean, I've seen these paintings, but I mean, it's like a Van Gogh painting. You know, a picture of a Van Gogh painting is not a Van Gogh painting because of the
Yeah.
multi level. I don't
Yeah.
know if you could print uh, a picture of dripping blood to make it look like it is actually falling and splashing the and
Yeah, you
print
could.
that on a
Yeah,
book.
because the your graphic that you use to do your split for each individual page would have to be a vector that has like
Like a
some
car,
depth to
like
it.
a 50s cartoon. Is that what you're thinking?
Kind of.
Mm,
No. See, I don't know. I'm a boomer.
Well, so
Dana, you can you only help me so much.
well, see,
well, you
Russell,
can make images look.
I'll send you a video, Russell, because there's people out there that actually do this for their own books.
Yes, yes.
They spray
Mhm.
paint their own edges and then they have stencils for their designs and they look fantastic. There's also people that will rip the cover and the back cover off of a book and they make their own, like they make another cover for it that's like leather bound and everything. They have videos for that. And there's people that'll take the book cover and bedazzle the whole damn thing, right? Which is obviously what I follow because that's my world. But people are doing some like really creative stuff and people are doing it themselves. So you could have the blood drip splatter and it would just have to be a stencil that part would be in red and the rest would be in black. Or you could have a gun or, you know, whatever. You could have something like that. But I think, and I don't know, I think it's interesting to think about, right? Because I
Could
think
you have
we
a
don't.
drip on the cover that was sticky?
No.
Looked sticky.
Looks
You
sticky.
No.
could have it look
It had a,
sticky with
it had
texture
a
and
sticky touch to it.
Oh, like a texture to it. I don't know. That would be interesting. You know, that would be like
Yeah,
a
because it would be so gross.
that would be
That's the
it would be
point.
gross, and you have to imagine what's going to get stuck in it, like
no,
dust
not
and
like that.
hair.
It would be like a sensory thing. You know, like
Mhm.
you know, like you play with Play-Doh and it's kind of sticky, or slime, it's kind of sticky, but it's
Or
not
silly
sticky.
putty. Right?
Yeah, and like
Or
you
you could
you,
put-
you don't want to touch it, but you keep touching it because you're just like, I don't know why, but this is just there's something
I
about it.
wonder
Like,
if silly
yeah.
putty really still exists. Does
yes,
still
it does.
exist?
My
Or
kids have silly
you
putty.
could on your cover, you could do like vinyl, like a vinyl droplets, you know, cut them out and then stick them on your cover. Then that way they would be slick as opposed to
Sticky.
Sticky.
that would be a
I do
different
like that.
texture.
There is
on your
something about
cover.
the sticky though. Like there's something about the sticky
Like
though
it's
where
just happened, right?
yeah, there is something about it and it kind of just, I don't know, like I could picture finding that on a shelf and being like, well, damn, I'm gonna buy this book because this is just fun. Like I'm a sucker for it. I could totally see that. I don't, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's
yeah.
like, I love
like
how
that
matte
exercise.
book covers feel. They feel like leather to me.
I do like matte. Some of
Yes,
them feel like borderline velvety, some of them, and I just
Yeah.
love that. I just love
Yeah,
that.
matte cars feel the same way.
Do they?
You know,
Yeah.
when it's a matte paint job
Yeah.
and you touch
Mhm.
it,
Huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like those. I think those look
I
cool.
can't say I've ever felt a matte car.
I've seen them, but I haven't touched them.
Yeah. I think I'm afraid of leaving
Totally
fingerprints on it if I touch it. You
I
know?
know. And somebody who has a car like that really cares about their car.
Yeah, they don't want you to touch it. And I don't want them to have my
Right.
fingerprints to know I touched it, you know? So I walk in a big radius around those. I'm
Also,
weird
you
like
should
that.
because you have those kids that would tear it up.
Oh no, Russell.
They're
Yes,
not that bad.
that's true. No, they're not that bad. They're just, yeah. Yeah, they're not that bad, I guess.
They're just girls.
Yeah. Valerie, what would you do for your children's book series? You know, your shush on the shush series.
Yeah,
What would you
I
do for
Or
the
her donut book.
tree?
the donut. I think it would be pretty cool, but I mean, they're kind of thin, so it would have to be really well thought out. But I think the donut book, you could have like sprinkles all around the edge, like a
Oh
pink
my
background with
gosh.
just like
Yes.
the icing, and then the sprinkled dots all over it.
You could
That
have
would be
pink
really
And
edges.
scratch and sniff.
Oh, there you go. That would be
Oh
so
my
awesome. Or
gosh.
you could have
Like
even like
cinnamon and stuff
silver
like
with the
that,
sprinkled
Dina.
dots.
Yes, like what a sprinkled donut smells like, or what like a chocolate cinnamon donut
That-
smells like. Oh my gosh, Valerie, we need to make that happen for you. I am 33 years old and I'm freaking excited for that book. The smell of donuts and pink edges with sprinkles. Oh yes, like I'm here for it.
Okay.
Man.
Dina, so I actually went and watched Valerie sell at one of those bazaars that she does, and she has an incredible hustle. You should see it. She's so good at it. I can imagine her with one of these books having all the little girls sniff the
Oh,
books,
look at that.
and then immediately the moms have to buy the books.
Oh,
Valerie could
yes. Oh,
hustle that
Absolutely. Can
so
you
much.
imagine?
God,
good.
Especially at
we need to
in-person
start a
events.
Kickstarter for this because this is like
Yes.
I'm never
Let's
gonna
do
get
it.
this out of my mind. Like we've got to make
And you
this
know, I don't
happen.
have hard copies of it, so it could be a hard copy.
Oh
you could,
yes.
and this could even be like the touch thing, like Russell was saying, like, you know, the whole front could be like
Yeah, like a
textured.
sensory thing. You could cover so many bases
But
with
not
that.
Girl, we're
gross
going off
texture
the
like
edge
I'm
here.
thinking. Something
No.
good texture.
Yeah, not gross like Russell. No.
No. Really fun stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Man, I
Nice.
love that. That is okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna
because
talk
Amy,
Kickstarter.
I'm sure you go to this at your schools because I've been teaching at so many different campuses, and it's book fair time. So when
Oh,
you go
yes.
inside a book fair, oh my God, it's like they want this, they want that, and you know what they all want? They want the fuzzy covered notebooks. You know, so
Yes, they
that's
do.
that's how it gets started. You know,
Yeah.
you want the specialty stuff like that becomes your own, and their notebooks, their journals. So these kids are already writing in this stuff.
Yeah, and
So
you know they never go for like the books that are like reasonably priced. You're like, yeah, I would totally pay this price for this book. No, they want the fuzzy with the lock, and you're like, you're gonna lose the key to this lock, and we're not
and
gonna be
the
able to get into
glitter,
it.
all the
And
yeah.
it's like $32, but you can't leave the book fair without it because that's just a meltdown waiting to happen, you know. And then they have the gauntlet of pens and sticky stuff, and it's yes. So my kids' school only does the book fair in person in the fall, and
Yes.
then
Mhm.
in the spring it's not in person, and you can put money on your kids' account or give
Really?
them money. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Not today. I totally spaced and forgot today, and I do it the whole week, and then it plays in my favor. But
Yeah, but the book fair, those kids, you know, they walk away with like they have like the dream. So cool. That's where the love of books starts. You know, they get excited. They're gonna pick something cool, and you know, whatever it is, if it's like Thelma the Unicorn or you know Harry Potter, they
yeah,
have you know all the box sets. So, but hey, and then we get the you know the decorated edges, and so then they're already hooked.
I
Start them
know.
young.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have another question for you guys. Okay. I was busy this weekend. I told you and stuff I can't tell you, but I got all this information and these ideas for it. When was the last time, and I'll be honest about mine, when was the last time you actually went into a bookstore to look and buy a book? Be honest. Russell.
Last week.
Oh, man. Okay.
Remember, and I do. So, number one, that's Melinda's favorite place to hang out. So
That's right.
like part of our, you know, dates that we do every day or two. Is I know that's stupid for most people that a bookstore would be a part of their date, but we love bookstores.
Mhm.
And there's a brand new Barnes and Noble in the Memorial area in Town and Country in Houston, and it's just beautiful. It's all their new
Huge,
version of their
huge.
store that is how they saved themselves from bankruptcy, right? It's just gorgeous. And
Well, they
we
have a
wonder
lot of stuff in. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
we wander through there, and that's actually where all the dark romance and the romance stuff
Ah,
that
yeah.
I've talked about on the show that I've like researched to see what's available in
Mm-hmm.
bookstores.
Mm-hmm.
That's the place. And we go there every week. It's great.
Okay.
I love to be around the people that hang out in bookstores. And I love being in coffee shops, in bookstores, because I like being around those people a lot.
At the same time.
Mhm,
Okay.
Right.
mhm,
Nice.
mhm.
So I haven't
Well,
been
in
in one in years.
Barnes and Noble, they also have like games and stuff. They're not just books. That's what I always liked about that, because I'd go in there and I'd get like, I'm like a sucker for like writing tablets or writing pads
Yeah.
and notebooks and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
but I was in. It was last month. It wasn't like last week, but I had to go looking for a book for Wee Bossy's class, and they didn't have it, so I had to get it online. But we also went to Half Price Books, and she
Mhm.
bought War and Peace.
I love half price books. It's the
I
greatest
love it. I
bookstores
love it.
ever.
I love Half Price Books too. So, but yeah, it hadn't been that long for me. It's like a month. It's been in the last month. It was sometime in February that I went.
Mhm.
Man,
Yeah.
Valerie, what
Say
about
we
you?
went. I think my daughter was in town and she was looking for another one in her series for the romance fantasy books, and so we went. I want to say it might have been Thanksgiving or so, but it's a huge Barnes and Noble over by River Oaks, and so we had been over there eating and doing stuff, and you don't want to leave. You want to keep going and going.
That's the one that's 2 stories, isn't it? That's over like off
Yeah,
of, is it off of Rise or something? Yeah,
off the
that one's
West Brain.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very nice.
Okay, so I haven't been in a bookstore. I went in recently. Okay, but I'm not even going to count this time, but I'll tell you about my recent experience and then I'll tell you. So I went in looking specifically for a book from an author, one, and I have not been in a bookstore in years. Okay, it's just not my go-to to go, but I'm like a Kindle audiobook girl, unless your book is beautiful and then it's going to be on my shelf, or I've helped you do it, then it's on my shelf, right? But I did go in and I was looking for a book by Shane Rose, and she had a limited edition of her Corrupted Chaos, which is like my like go-to book. It's not necessarily a dark romance book, but just my go-to. It's like a palate cleanser when I'm like reading a really dark book and I need something somewhat happy. And for whatever reason, this stabby book makes me happy. So I went looking for it and I couldn't find it. It was only at like specific Barnes and Nobles, but it was it from someone that doesn't go to bookstores all the time, it was very overwhelming because it wasn't clearly labeled what genres they were. And then they had like a TikTok specific genre that had just all the books that were popular on
Really?
TikTok. And so it was like, yeah, because they had the dark romance, but I guess it was broken up alphabetically, but you didn't like, you had to kind of guess that, I was also in a hurry. So my stupidity could probably be my own too. But it was just an interesting thing because I used to go to Ollie's all the time, and they have a lot of like the big search and finds and stuff for the girls. So I used to go and I would get a ton of books there for them. But I haven't been in a Barnes and Noble in forever. And when I did go, I felt so stupid because I didn't feel like I could find anything. And I was mortified. But I mean, you can hate me if you want to, but I am just an Amazon girl. I prefer to just have it shipped to my door. Or like buy from the author if it's like a limited edition on their website.
yeah.
But I'm weird like
I
that.
don't know. There's
Amy,
something about picking up a book.
yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. Amy, I have a question.
Okay.
From what you just said provoked a question. So we have we have new authors every week. We have very rarely, unless we intentionally reached out, had a romance author on the show.
Uh-huh.
Do romance authors, are there different shows they go on? Do they not? Where do those writers go? Because we hardly ever get a romance author on our
They go to
show. What's
shows.
going on with that?
No, when we did a
I,
couple years ago, when we were doing the author talk shorts for Love of
I
Palooza,
remember
we had a bunch of
for
them
6
on.
weeks, and
Yeah.
they were really interesting.
They were very
half of them
fascinating.
are real fascinating. Another half were like, I don't know, it didn't work.
a different mix. But I feel like most romance authors are like the nighttime crowd. I feel like a lot of them, I see a lot more content from them at night than I do during the day, to be honest. But they're on shows geared a lot more towards that. So, but I will make it my year's mission to get you 10 romance authors to
Well, I'm
celebrate our
not
10
asking
years.
for it. I was just wondering why they weren't
No,
on.
I'm going to do it. 10 romance authors for our 10-year. I'm going to get you 10 romance authors. And by me, I mean Dina's going to help me because Dina has like a whole plethora of romance author connections.
And I gotta
Yeah,
tell
for
you,
the
we
longest
got
time, 90% of my business was romance books.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
and I would like to ask them, why don't you go on shows like ours? I would love to ask them that.
Well, because a lot of them are going to be like
And what's the nighttime
foul
crowd?
mouth, like foul mouth and foul language and like
Well, look at our
dirty
great
talk.
author last week.
I
He
love
used the F word like 10 times. He was a great interview. It's a great show. But he was such a, he was an LA guy.
I
right?
love it. I love it. But yeah, like I don't know. I guess it's just like we don't give that vibe. I feel like we would all have to give off that vibe for them to feel comfortable.
Okay, so I'm just not cutting it. That's what you're saying. Because I know D and
Dina would
Val
vibe.
would cut it. So we're just talking about me now,
I
right?
mean, I don't think so. I think it would be, we could test it. Let's test it. We'll have Dina, Valerie, and you, Russell, on. And then in my spot, we'll have a romance author because Dina can probably talk to them a lot better than I can. And let's see what happens. Because, yeah, I don't know. I run out of like
Okay, the
questions.
9th through the 13th of April, I'm going to be on a cruise.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
going to
we're
miss
going to
that
start at
show.
the end of
So
April.
you could get a romance. You could get a romance writer that day, and the three of you, because obviously you think I'm the problem.
I'm pretty sure I'm
And
the
I'm
problem.
okay with that because my wife always says I'm the problem.
Well, at least you own it. At least
So
you
I'm just
own
saying
it.
that made D laugh, cough laugh. It's true, D. She always tells me I'm the problem.
It's fair.
And now Amy tells me I'm the problem. And
I did
know
not.
my
I
adult
said
daughter
I
tells
was
me
the
I'm
problem, and we could test it out if I was the problem. I run out of things to say for like to ask like romance authors, depending on like their.
Well,
genre and
there's
stuff.
only so many ways you can say how do you come up with all of your different words for body parts and
Yeah, that's
actions.
true.
Scenarios.
So,
Scenarios.
Scenarios. Yeah, how do you come up with all your scenarios? I think I would be dying to ask romance authors one how if they do the painted edges, how do they do it? And then two, the concept of their books that evolve into series, how do they pump out a book every 6 weeks? Like I'm dying to know that question because just in an industry thing, how can you pump out a quality book every 6 weeks? Like I don't know. For me, it's very like I have to be able to wrap my head around it, and I can't. So, see, I would ask them those questions, and I
I've
wouldn't
mine
be
for
like,
10 years and I still haven't put it out.
I know, Dina, and you are just it's society.
No,
is
I
like-
I can tell you for. Go ahead, baby.
I did meet a girl at the John Cooper School Author Signature Series multiple years in a row. She set her booth was next to mine, and she wrote romance novels, and she had a ton of them. And she said what happened is a Hallmark Channel picked up one, and then she just like, okay, I can make this happen. And I think as a writer too, you start to get formulaic is the word I want to say. And then you get that concept in your head. It's like, okay, we need an antagonist, we need a protagonist, we need a scene, we need a you need your arc, but you also want
You gotta follow
it's gonna be a villain, all of that
But
stuff.
how do you do that without it being
You're gonna-
redundant?
Well,
like
you create different scenarios. Like, okay, maybe this
Well,
time I'm set in Boston and New England, and I'm here, I'm in Vermont. I'm here for the change of the leaves, and then I meet the romance. I'm here, I'm sad, somebody just passed away, but then I meet somebody, they lift me up, or all these things. And if you want it smutty, then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to this, and then it's you gotta set the scene and then
But
pull your
yeah,
characters in.
but I think it's also
Well,
too
yeah,
because I talked to Dina about it too, though, and it was like, how do you do that without it becoming repetitive in like what everyone's reading or seeing in that genre, just different names? Or how do you keep like
No.
a series from being repetitive in terms of like sex scenes, plot, just different names, right? Because I feel
well,
like some of the ones I'm
sometimes
reading are
sometimes
repetitive.
your sex scenes are going to be repetitive, right? Because insert A into B, right? Maybe sometimes into C.
Yeah.
And so you've got that. So you're always going to have that formula. It's just how are you going to word it? But that's like
Yes.
my go-to JD Robb, right? She puts out 2 books, at least 2 books every year, because she writes as JD Robb and she writes as Nora Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are putting them out every 6 weeks, they're treating it actually like a job. They're writing 8 hours a day.
So
They're
true.
not letting
So
writer's block stop them. They're
Mhm.
putting it out. Fine, here I wrote the end, I'm going to hold on to it for a week. Let's start this book, do that one. Okay, fine, I'm going to go back to the first book. Let me do another read through, do a quick thing. Okay, here I'm sending it off to my alpha readers. I'm sending it off to my betas. Then go back to book 2 and then go back to book 1. Okay, fine, now I'm sending it off to the editor.
And don't you feel like in romance books, there's a lot of
you can do it.
Yeah. Don't you feel in romance books too? I feel like it's the suspense leading up to that connection sometimes. And so that's what draws people in. It's like, wait, they should already totally be kissing. Wait, they should already totally be on the next step of their relationship. And it's
Yeah.
building that relationship. And so that and then have like something like come in and block them, like the ex-girlfriend comes in or this, and then you're like, no, but I want them to be together. And so, you just gotta think like soap opera like.
of
It's
it,
almost
yeah.
like that.
Okay, you guys just answered the question.
Okay, good. I'm
I
glad.
am the problem. I am the problem. Then you answered the question.
Okay, you know what your assignment is, Russell? You got to go watch
I'm going on a
Bridgerton, and then it'll all
cruise.
connect.
To not be the problem.
I'm going on a cruise and I won't be here, so I won't be the problem.
No, like you need to be there because you're the one that has the
No,
most
you're the
question.
one that wants to know so much.
Yeah,
so
you have the less.
question.
Yeah,
I
you're
know
you're
about
not-
it.
you're not
don't. You're the one
familiar.
who needs to be
I
asking
can't do
the
it without you guys, though, obviously.
We will make it happen, but that way you can get hopefully some of your questions answered, and I'll try to dig through and get like dark romance so you can tap into that romance, fade to black, cozies, all of those things, so we can
paranormal. You
somewhat-
gotta get some paranormal. I got the perfect
Yeah.
paranormal for you
Okay.
if she'll
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
So.
See, I'm telling you, Dina's going to be our biggest resource here.
Oh,
And
she is
LJ,
all the
LJ's
time
got a ton
anyway.
of contacts too. That's who she PAs for is LJ.
Yeah.
and
she
you
does.
loved LJ.
Yeah, I'll write her and see too. But man, I'm telling you, it's just, yeah, it's crazy. But no, I don't know. Valerie, you got into Bridgerton?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. You know what? Last week we went to go see Great Gatsby on stage.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people were very excited. You could tell about this musical. It's Broadway Across America bringing it, and it was a beautiful production, beautiful choreography, costumes, the whole shebang. But the story, this is not your Great Gatsby. Like,
Mm.
Well,
and I
Great
think that's
Gatsby cannot be made into a movie and
Thank
it
you,
cannot be
thank
made
you.
a play. You have to read it.
It's
It's just the way it
great.
Yeah,
is.
and then that's what I was thinking. I was like, how are they gonna do this piece of literature into a musical? And it's all the beautiful things, but then the story, where's the story? And then they change, they take a little liberty here and there, and you're like, this is not the Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
And I hate that when that happens for a
Well,
lot of
most
different
people don't
things.
know it well enough. They're not like you.
Like the
Val.
Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, and they had like guns and they
Yes.
were gangs in LA. But they
Yes.
talked like William Shakespeare wrote, but they were like shooting people up with guns and stuff. Is that
That's
what you're
actually
talking
a genre now
about? No.
of Shakespeare done moderned up into the mid 20th century. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it was
It's like
just
3
weird.
movies have been made doing that now.
I know,
Yes.
but it was just
It's
weird.
like steampunk, but it's with
Steampunk,
Shakespeare.
yeah.
I mean, I could see it. I don't know. There's still a lot of genres we need to tap into, so we will work on it. But Russell, I'm going to give you 10 romance authors for celebrating our 10th year. Me and Dina now have homework, and we're going to tap LJ in, and we're going to get you answers. And we're only going to do it when you're going to be on the show. We'll probably have to pre-record them though, so we'll do those.
I know, because it's the night crowd, as you said.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm not super nice like past 8. I'm really not nice. I'm very like just don't talk. I'm very much one of those that just doesn't talk afterwards. But all right, you guys, you heard it. We're going to get 10 romance authors. So if you're a romance author and you're listening, you can send us a DM. We will be reaching out because we're going to do 10 for 10 years and hopefully to get at least 10 of Russell's questions answered. But you guys, it's happy spring forward, you guys. We hope that you all have a fantastic Monday and a great rest of your day or week. Until next Monday, everybody. Bye for now.